Hello everyone. Today I will be talking about aromaticity. So here in this video I will cover aromatic system, non-aromatic system, anti-aromatic system, homoaromatic system and quasi-aromatic system. I will explain every single system with some examples. I will discuss some previous year questions and I will share some tricks as well. So let me start with aromatic system. So what is aromatic system? First of all, for being aromatic, a system has to be cyclic and it should be planar. That means it might be sp2 hybridized or sp hybridized, and of course complete conjugation has to be there. That means the system has to be conjugated. And the most important thing is it should obey Huckel's rule. So at first we need to know what is Huckel's rule. So Huckel's rule suggests in a system there should be 4n plus 2 number of pi electron. Here n can be equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So if n equal to 0, that means number of pi electron will be 4 into 0 plus 2. That means number of pi electron will be 2. Hence number of pi bond will be equal to 1. If n equal to 1, number of pi electron is 6 and number of pi bond 3. If n equal to 2, number of pi electron is 10 and number of pi bond will be 5 automatically. That means it is very clear from this table that there should be odd number of pi bonds. That means in short, we can say that if in a system odd number of pi bonds are present with total cyclic delocalization, then the system will behave like a aromatic system. So let me explain with few examples. At first, we are taking benzene. Benzene is aromatic because it is cyclic, it is conjugated and total 3 pi bonds. That means odd number of pi bonds are there. So benzene is an aromatic system. Next example is pyrrole. Here nitrogen lone pair has, nitrogen atom has one lone pair of electron which is taking part in resonance throughout the ring. That means the system is completely conjugated and it is cyclic. And we are considering this lone pair as one pi bond because pi bond also contributes 2 electrons and lone pair is made of 2 electrons as well. So here total 3 pi bonds, that means odd number of pi bonds are present with total cyclic delocalization. That is why this system pyrrole is also an aromatic system. In the next example, we are taking cyclopropenyl cation. Here it is cyclic conjugated and 1 pi bond is there. That is why it is aromatic. In the next example, where cyclopentadienyl anion is there, here in the negative charge is contributing 2 electron and it is taking part in resonance throughout the ring. That means total 3 pi bonds are there. Okay, one thing, we are considering this negative charge as 1 pi bond because of the same reason, that is pi bond is made of 2 electron and negative charge is also contributing 2 electron. So total 3 pi bonds are present with total cyclic delocalization. That means the system is again an aromatic system. In the last example where we have taken furan, so we can see that 2 pi bonds are already present in the system. It is cyclic, and here most important thing is oxygen atom has 2 lone pair of electron. Now among these 2 lone pair, one is taking part in resonance at one time because 2 lone pairs are present in 2 perpendicular p orbital of oxygen atom. Suppose one is present at px, another one is present at py. As we know that px and py both are perpendicular to each other, so they cannot be present at same plane at a time. That means 2 lone pair cannot take part in resonance at a time. So one is participating in conjugation. That means total 3 pi bonds are present with total cyclic delocalization. Hence furan is also an aromatic system. Now coming to our next example, next system, that is anti-aromatic system. Well, for being anti-aromatic system, at the very first note, a system has to be cyclic. It has to be planar, complete conjugation has to be there, and it should not obey Huckel's rule. Rather, it should follow 4n pi rule. So what is 4n pi rule? Well, before that, the most important thing is here n cannot be equal to 0. So if n equal to 1, number of pi electron will be 4 into 1. That means number of pi electron will be 4. That means number of pi bond will be 2. Similarly, if n equal to 2, number of pi electron is 8. That means number of pi bond is 4. And if n equal to 3, number of pi electron is 12. Number of pi bond will be automatically equal to 6. That means it is clear from this table that even number of pi bonds has to be there for anti-aromatic system. So in short, or the trick is, if in a system even number of pi bonds are present with total cyclic delocalization, then the system will be anti-aromatic system. So let me explain anti-aromatic system with few examples. At first we have taken cyclobutadiene. So it is cyclic. It is planar because all the carbon atoms are sp2 hybridized, and as we all know that for sp2 hybridization the geometry is trigonal planar. That means it is a planar system, and of course it is conjugated because two pi bonds are taking part in delocalization or conjugation. So it is following the criteria of even number of pi bonds with total cyclic delocalization. That means cyclobutadiene is an anti-aromatic system. In the next example, where cyclopropenyl anion has been taken, here we are considering this negative charge as one pi bond, and that means total two pi bonds are present with cyclic delocalization. Hence it is also an anti-aromatic system. In the next example, where cyclopentadienyl cation has been taken, two pi bonds are present with cyclic delocalization. That means it is also an anti-aromatic system. Now coming to our next system, that is non-aromatic system. Well, for aromatic and anti-aromatic system, first and foremost important criteria is a system has to be cyclic at the very first node. But for non-aromatic system, it can be cyclic as well as it can be acyclic also. And there should not be any conjugation, and it should not follow any Huckel's rule. And the most important thing is, for non-aromatic system, it should be non-planar. So how a system can behave like a non-planar system? If the hybridization of any atom is sp3, that means if sp3 hybridized carbon is present, then obviously the geometry will not be planar. For sp3 hybridization, as we all know that the geometry is tetrahedral. So if sp3 hybridized carbon is present, then it can behave like a non-planar system. And what about other points? If sp2 hybridized carbon atom is present, still it can behave like a non-planar system at room temperature. How? Let me explain this with the example. So we are taking cyclooctatetraene, that is COT. Apparently the system seems to be planar because all the carbon atoms are sp2 hybridized here. But as you all know that for sp2 hybridization bond angle requirement is 120 degree. But here in this ring, in this cyclic ring, the bond angle is much less than 120 degree. That means huge amount of angle strain is present here. So the system cannot exist as a planar system in this arrangement. Rather, it exists as a top-shaped non-planar system. That means it is very clear that from the picture that it is not planar. As it is not planar, so it is non-aromatic system, because if a system is non-planar, then obviously it will be non-aromatic, as we have already discussed. Now coming to our next example, that is 10-aniline system. Well, here two hydrogen atoms are marked as red colored. Huge amount of steric compression is present between these two hydrogen atoms. Due to this steric hindrance, the system doesn't behave like this, doesn't exist like this. Rather, it exists as a non-planar arrangement. Hence, it is non-aromatic system. That means 10-aniline is non-aromatic. Our next example is cyclopentadiene. Here, the system is cyclic. Even number of pi bonds are present. 2 pi bonds are present. But it is not an anti-aromatic system because there is a saturated carbon atom, sp3 hybridized carbon atom. That means complete conjugation is not present in the system. That means it will not be anti-aromatic, rather it will be non-aromatic system because of the presence of this sp3 hybridized carbon atom. So am I clear? Now coming to our next system, that is homoaromatic system. It is very important one. So for being homoaromatic, a system has to be cyclic, it should be conjugated, and the most important thing is there should be a saturated atom. Not necessarily a carbon, any saturated atom or any sp3 hybridized atom might be present there. Mostly it is a CH2 group or methylene group. So a discontinuity in p orbital overlap will be seen because of this presence of this CH2 group or sp3 hybridized atom. So how? I am explaining this with an example. So here in this example, there is a carbon atom which is marked as red color, which is sp3 hybridized. So let us consider that this sp3 hybridized carbon atom is not present. So if it would have absent, then the system could have behaved like a cyclopropenyl cation system, as I have already discussed in the example of aromatic system. Here, cyclopropenyl cation system, this is a aromatic system because of the presence of one pi bond and following the criteria of total cyclic delocalization, and it is also cyclic. So this is cyclopropenyl cation is aromatic system, right? So coming to what we were discussing now. So in this example, if this sp3 hybridized carbon atom would have been absent, then the system could have behaved like a cyclopropenyl cation system. That means it would have been aromatic system, right? That means stabilized cyclic conjugated system can be formed by bypassing one saturated atom. That means if we, for our sake, if we consider that this carbon atom, this saturated carbon atom is absent, then stabilized cyclic conjugated system, that means cyclopropenyl cation system, can be formed. That is why it is called homoaromatic system. Right, now coming to our next system, that is quasi-aromatic system. An important criteria of quasi-aromatic system is there should be presence of any polar atom or polar groups. That means this system will possess very high dipole moment. And the most importantly, these systems are originally not aromatic, but because of the presence of this polar atom, it will behave like an aromatic system. I repeat, originally these systems are not aromatic, but because of the presence of this polar atom or polar groups, here in this case oxygen, it will behave as an aromatic system. That is why it is called quasi-aromatic system. So let me explain this with an example. In this example, C double bond O is present, and as we all know that oxygen is very electronegative atom. That means it is much polar with compared to carbon. So this pi bond, carbon oxygen pi bond, will open towards oxygen side. That means in this form the system is behaving like a aromatic system, like cyclopropenyl cation system. So it is called quasi-aromatic system. And because of the same reason, the next system is also quasi-aromatic system. Well, one thing that I should mention, in any MCQ type question, in the options, if quasi-aromatic option is not present but the system is quasi-aromatic, mark it as aromatic system. Okay, if quasi-aromatic option is not present, then only. Now I will discuss another important thing, that is non-Huckel lone pair or non-Huckel pi bond. So what is that? When we need to consider this non-Huckel pi bond? Well, for fused cyclic system, I repeat, for fused cyclic system, if there is any middle lone pair or middle pi bond then we will not consider this lone pair or pi bond while we are counting total number of pi electron or total number of pi bond. So I am explaining this with few examples. Let us consider these examples. In the very first example, nitrogen atom has one lone pair of electron, but while we will count total number of pi electron, we will not consider this as pi electron. We will not consider this while we are counting total number of pi electron. So this is called non-Huckel lone pair. So here in this system, total number of pi bond will be equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means odd number of pi bonds are present with total cyclic delocalization. Hence, it is following the criteria of which system? Aromatic system, right? So the system is aromatic. In the second example, similarly, we will not consider this middle pi bond that has been marked as red color. We will not consider this middle pi bond while we will count total number of pi bonds in the system. Hence, this is called non-Huckel pi bond. Okay. So if we don't consider this pi bond, then total number of pi bond will be equal to 7. So it is also following the criteria of odd number of pi bonds with total cyclic delocalization. Hence, it is also an aromatic system. This question is a previous year GATE question. Now, I will complete my lecture with few previous year examples. The first question is, among these following four, which one is non-aromatic? First option is benzene. Here it is clear that total 4 pi bonds are present in this system, and it is following the criteria of even number of pi bonds with total cyclic delocalization. Hence, benzene system is an anti-aromatic system. Next option is cyclobutadiene, as I have already discussed that it is anti-aromatic. In the next option, well, don't follow this as don't mix this with 10 aniline system, right? Because here in 10 aniline system there was 2 hydrogen atom present, like this. Here 2 red colored hydrogen atom was present in 10 aniline system, which was the reason behind the steric hindrance and behind the non-planar arrangement. That is why 10 aniline behave like a non-aromatic system. But here in this example, it is not 10 aniline. Here 2 hydrogen atoms are absent. That means the system will not be present in non-planar arrangement. Hence the system will not be non-aromatic, rather it will be aromatic. More precisely, it will be homoaromatic because of the presence of this bridgehead carbon atoms, which is sp3 hybridized. That means non-planar. So it is more precisely called homoaromatic system. And in the last option, as I have already discussed, this is cyclooctatetraene, and as I have discussed that this system exists in a top shape, so it is non-planar, hence non-aromatic. So among these 4 options, this one, last one, or cyclooctatetraene, will be non-aromatic. Now coming to the second question, that is, we have to determine order of acidic strength among the following. This is also a previous year example. I don't exactly remember the year, but this is also a previous year question. So let me tell you one thing at first. Among these 3 options, A, B, C, each and every option are acidic. So why acidic? Because if these get deprotonated, then the system will behave like a aromatic system. As you all know that aromatic systems are very stable. So all these 3, A, B and C, will try to get deprotonated at a very fast rate. So all these 3 are acidic. So among these 3, which one will be more acidic? C will be most acidic among these 3. Why? Well, before considering acidic strength, we need to consider the stability of conjugate bases. So if we consider the conjugate base of C, here the negative charge is delocalized in 3 benzene ring. So as the extent of delocalization is highest in this case, so the conjugate base is more stable in case of C. And as we all know that more stable the conjugate base, more will be the acidic strength. That means the C will try to get deprotonated at a first test rate. That means C is most acidic. Now among A and B, well, if we consider the stability of conjugate bases among A and B, in both the cases the negative charge will be delocalized among two benzene ring, but in case of B the system is more rigid because it is locked arrangement. That means planarity is ensured here, so negative charge will be delocalized in a better way. That means it can be delocalized easily, so conjugate base of B will be more stable than that of A. That means B is more acidic than that of A. So why not A? Because here the system is not rigid, it is not locked. That means planarity is not ensured here. Here CC single bond rotation can be possible. That means planarity is not ensured here. That means conjugation or extent of conjugation will be less in case of A, in case of conjugate base of A, than that of conjugate base of B. So the acidic strength order will be C is most acidic, followed by B, followed by A. So that was a very short presentation about aromaticity. So thank you for watching my video. Thanks a lot.